Coming up next on News Channel 8, a 16-year-old is killed at a party at a woman's club. Now, police are on the search for 3 men who should be easy to spot. Plus, a major storm system wrecks the Carolinas with 62 reported tornadoes and at least 35 deaths. And it's one thing for airlines to charge you to check a bag, but it's another to not refund that fee if the bag is lost. Now the government is stepping in. Stay with us. The news is next.
Gail Sierens and Keith Gate, weeknights at 11 on News Channel 8. Now on News Channel 8.
An early morning shooting at a women's club leaves police on the hunt for 3 people, including a man with a cane and a man in a wheelchair. Plus, a minivan crashes onto a field, interrupting a round of Little League baseball.
Live from the News Center in high definition, this is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning. It's Sunday, April 17th, 2011. I'm Yolanda Fernandez. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to our top story in just a moment. But first, Storm Team 8 meteorologist Megan Hatton's in our forecast center. She's got a check on today's weather. And Megan, how's it looking for us today?
Absolutely beautiful. We had that cold front move through yesterday, if you even want to call it that. But it did usher in a little bit of drier air this morning. If you've been outside, it does feel a little bit more refreshing, but it is still warm. 70 degrees at the Lowe's Don Cesar. Currently, northeast wind at 6 miles per hour. It still will be breezy at times today, so if you are planning on taking the boat out, just be a little bit cautious that seas could be rough at times. 67 degrees right now officially at the airport in Tampa. We're 70 Clearwater Beach, 63 degrees in Lakeland. Saw a few upper 50s north of the bay this morning. Brooksville reporting 60 degrees, 68 Arcadia, and 69 degrees for our friends at the pier in Venice. There go the clouds overnight that helped to keep the temperature up a few degrees. Now we're seeing brilliant blue skies, and that will last throughout much of the afternoon today. Our forecast is 84 degrees for a high, lovely day with slightly lower humidity, a little bit breezy on the north to northwesterly wind. For the evening, 80 degrees. It'll stay comfortable with clear skies, and overnight pretty pleasant. Be a nice way to start our work week ahead. Patchy fog and of course near normal temperatures. Now humidity will return in full force heading into Monday. We'll check out that warm 7-day forecast coming up in a few.
All right, Megan, thanks. We'll check back in with you a little later.
Okay.
Lake Wales police are investigating a shooting at a woman's club that left a 16-year-old dead. It happened around 2 o'clock this morning at the Lake Wales Women's Club. The facility had been rented out for a party, and as it was wrapping up, police say there was a fight on stage and then gunfire. Someone shot 2 teens, including 16-year-old Willie Nimmons, who died. Police are looking for 3 people of interest. Doral Sermons of Haines City. He commonly walks with a cane. They're also looking for Timothy Sermons, known as Marley. And they're looking for a 3rd person called Terrell or Combs. He's in a wheelchair. Police say the guys left the party in a blue Dodge Charger with 28 or 30-inch rims. The Little League field is supposed to be a safe place for youngsters to spend their weekend. But for some Bay Area ball players, a day of fun nearly turned deadly. They were on the field at Ed Radis Park in Hillsborough County when a minivan interrupted their play. Josh Thomas has the story.
The joy of a day playing baseball quickly turned into a moment of fear for these Little Leaguers. They were out on the field in the middle of a game when all of a sudden things turned chaotic.
And all I heard was people yelling, "Run, run, run." And somebody else said, "What's happening on over at that other field?" And I looked up over here, right out there, and I saw a car accelerating.
It was actually a minivan that made its way onto one field and then another after crashing through 2 fences.
All you could hear was run, run, run. And a lot of times you're on a baseball field, you hear that a lot. Run to second, run to third. Your parents are screaming, run, run, run all the time. But we heard a lot of screams too, like, "I don't know." And then we looked.
Witnesses say a coach moved quickly, jumping into the minivan to try and stop it and the driver.
So all the coaches jumped on him, got him out of the car, and slammed into the ground. And we didn't know if he was armed or what was his problem, what was going on.
All the while, the young players were left confused over what was happening on their diamond. 8-year-old Allie Adamy says one of the coaches may have saved her friend's life.
She was running and she was like right in the path of the car. So like one of our coaches stopped the car, and so she could have gotten hit.
Luckily, none of the young players were hurt.
Thank God everyone's okay. I mean, because if it wasn't, then, you know, this could have have been a bad day.
The driver of the minivan, 22-year-old Peter Lewis, apparently lost control of the vehicle after a tire blew. He suffered a minor head injury and was not charged.
That was Josh Thomas reporting. Deputies believe the minivan was going about 35 miles per hour when it crashed. A day on a Polk County lake turned tragic for a father and son. Their boat flipped over and the father did not survive. It happened on Lake Rochelle and Lake Alfred Saturday morning. The man and his 10-year-old son were fishing when they ended up in the water. The boy was wearing a life vest and he made it to shore, but the father didn't. 30-year-old Earl McCaplin Jr. was not wearing a life vest. After several hours, search teams found McCaplin's body. Another fishing trip with 4 friends turned deadly when a large wave capsized their boat. It happened yesterday afternoon in the Gulf of Mexico, just 11 miles from Newport Richey. According to a Florida Fish and Wildlife official, 55-year-old Richard Green of Newport Richey died when the boat overturned. The other 3 men were rescued by a chartered fishing boat nearby. Fire investigators say an electrical short sparked a fire at a Sulphur Springs post office. It caused $12,000 in damage. Smoke from a smoldering beam forced an evacuation at the post office on North Nebraska Avenue yesterday morning. Tampa firefighters fought that fire for half an hour to keep it from spreading. No one was injured and no mail was damaged. Death toll is up to 35 in the wake of a massive storm system that's raged across the South over the past 3 days. Yesterday, the storm headed from Alabama to the Carolinas, where more than 60 tornadoes were reported. Francis Coe has the latest.
Damage in the capital of North Carolina.
Wow.
Cars crushed, buildings reduced to splinters.
Very scary, very scary. I've never been in nothing like this.
Just one community ripped apart during a 3-day onslaught across the South. Over 150 reported tornadoes, leaving residents from the Carolinas to Oklahoma, starting the long road to recovery. In Alabama, Governor Robert Bentley toured the devastation in the tiny community of Boone's Chapel, where a father and 2 adult children lost their lives.
Both trailers are gone, rolled off down into the hill. I knew that it was bad.
They were 3 of the more than 20 confirmed killed as a deadly line of storms and tornadoes.
Oh my God, this is not good.
Marched through Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Scenes of destruction and stories of survival.
I saw the wind pick up this big oak tree and sort of just pick it up and toss it on top of the power lines, and it caught the pine tree right under it. And of course, a lot of other trees fell around me, but it was a kind of scary situation.
Those in the storm's path are still assessing the damage, even as they begin rebuilding their lives. Francis Coe, NBC News.
A part-time farmer says he killed his wife and 3 young children after he got off the phone. He killed himself. Deputies in Oak Harbor, Ohio, say they found the bodies of Alan Atwater, his wife, and his children, ages 1, 2, and 4, dead upstairs in an upstairs bedroom. They had all been shot. Alan's grandmother says she tried to reach her son after hearing on a police scanner that her grandson shot everyone in his house.
I called Alan, and he would not answer his phone. And I probably called 20, 30 times. He would not answer.
There's been a terrible accident.
The only hint of trouble came recently when Atwater confided in his step-grandfather that he and his wife of 5 years were having marital problems. The Tampa Bay Rays brought the drama to the Trop last night, keeping the crowd on the edge of their seats all the way through the 9th inning. They took on the Minnesota Twins in the midst of a 4-game winning streak. Now, the Twins got out to an early lead in the 2nd inning, and they stayed at least 1 run ahead all the way until the bottom of the 9th. And then it was the Rays' time to shine. Ben Zobrist homered to right field, making it a tied game at 3-3. And then, with 2 outs, Johnny Damon stepped up to the plate. He singled to right field, bringing in B.J. Upton, and the Rays went on to win it 4-3. They're now 6-8 on the year. The Rays will try to sweep the Twins as they close out the series at 1:40 this afternoon at Tropicana Field. This week is an important one for 2 major religions. Both Judaism and Christianity recognize religious holidays this week. Coming up, we'll show you how students of one faith took this opportunity to learn about the other.
with News Channel 8. First with breaking news and a Storm Team 8 forecast that's accurate anytime, anywhere. News Channel 8 is on your side.
Two major religious observances begin this week for Christians and Jews, Holy Week and Passover. Students at a Catholic grade school in Tampa learned about the similarities and differences of the two faiths by experiencing Jewish rituals. The Tampa Tribune's Michelle Bearden has more.
We praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe.
Today's lesson at Sacred Heart Academy is the story of Passover.
Just that the Passover in itself was the Last Supper.
Jill Fernandez was raised in the Jewish faith. 5 years ago, she converted to Catholicism, her husband's religion. She still has a strong connection to her roots and memories of that foundation.
Which were the family meals, the family get-togethers. I was bat mitzvahed. That was pretty exciting. It took a lot of study. I learned Hebrew.
6th and 8th grade students at this Catholic school are getting their first taste of the Seder meal in the symbolic retelling of the Exodus story.
And the lamb shank represents the blood that was put on the doorposts to help the plague pass over the homes. The matzah is unleavened bread because they were in a hurry, didn't have time for it to rise. The harosis is represents the brick and mortar. The bitter herbs dipped into the salt water represents the tears while they were in slavery. The egg is for representing new life.
Teaching students about all faith traditions is a mission of Father Sean O'Brien, who believes taking small steps like this can lead to peace and tolerance in the world. One child at a time.
That it brings them out of the ordinary classroom into an experience where they not only participate.
The Franciscan priest says the more knowledge people have, the less chance of misunderstanding each other.
To be able to show what we share in common and what are the things that distinguish us, and to be able to show respect.
And how would society benefit from embracing diversity?
It would be more united. Which is what we need now, that there's a lot of war and a lot of conflict between the world. And it's a lot because of religion.
For News Channel 8, I'm Michelle Bearden.
Passover begins Monday night at sundown when Jewish families celebrate with the Seder meal. Christians are recognizing Palm Sunday today, leading up to Easter Sunday next week. And Storm Team 8 meteorologist Megan Hatton has your full forecast right after the break.
Monday on News Channel 8 today.
A healthy breakfast on the go.
Good morning to you. We have another pass of the International Space Station tonight. We had one this morning around 6, so all you early risers hopefully caught that this morning. Look to the southwest at 8:48 p.m., and then the station will exit the northeast sky at 8:54 p.m. That's a relatively long pass, of course, a shorter amount of time relative to our long days, but 5 to 6 minutes is a long time for the space station to be in the sky. So again, southwest sky, 8:48 p.m. We always post all the additional information on our Facebook, Twitter, and also our YouTube pages, so please search for us. Look for Storm Team 8 WFLA if you ever miss a newscast. 80 degrees at noon, lots of sunshine at 6 p.m. Breezy at times. We have that strong north to northwesterly flow building in, and the winds will relax as we head throughout the day today. 68 degrees now at Tampa International. We started our day out at 64. Our dew point is lower. Hello, mid-50s. It feels very comfortable out there. North wind at 7 miles per hour, and humidity is 59%. Current temperature, we're 65 in Brooksville, 68 again officially Tampa, Clearwater, 72 in St. Pete, 70 Wauchula, Sarasota, also the Pier at Venice, and 69 from Frostproof down south to Arcadia. Dew point numbers mainly in the mid-50s, even some upper 40s to the north. Very, very enjoyable. Still a little bit of higher humidity down to the south. That front, as when it makes its way down to the south, didn't have as much punch, and thankfully so, since we didn't see any of that severe weather that was up to the north. Our wind speeds right now a little gusty at times, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour right along the coast. It will be a little choppy at times on area water, so just keep that into consideration if you're taking the boat out. High pressure is building in from the north and is driving a north and northwesterly flow. There goes the clouds that were associated with that very weak front. Not really any impact. I don't even think a lot of folks saw a few sprinkles on their windshields yesterday. The dry air colored in red there, not very significant. So that's why we're not feeling a huge change to our air mass, but it is a little bit more noticeable on the drier side of things. So the east side of high pressure is going to bring in that north to northwesterly flow, typically bringing us the drier air. Stable sinking air under high pressure is what's going to keep those skies clear, pretty much cloud-free at times. So the warm and dry pattern will continue not only for today, but heading into Monday as well. But the humidity will be returning as we start our work week ahead. 87 degrees in Sebring, 89 Arcadia, 82 degrees in St. Petersburg. Here's a look at your very dry 7-day forecast, a high of 84 today, 86 for Monday, and we continue to climb in the temperatures, 87 degrees as we head into the middle of the work week ahead. And then we're back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees for our forecast lows. So this is a day you're going to want to get outside, get that yard work done, get the grills fired up because it's going to be fabulous.
Yes, it is beautiful. You can really feel it today.
Yes.
All right, Megan, thanks. Well, coming up next, we're getting a preview of what will be making headlines in the business world this week.
Plus, Donald Trump talks tea. He has some strong words for the president as he makes an appearance in the Sunshine State. That's just ahead. Hope you stay with us.
Storm Team 8. Accuracy, anytime, anywhere.
It'll be a busy week in business news with news on McDonald's and home construction, plus a change at the post office. CNBC's Sue Herrera takes a look at the upcoming week in the world of business.
It will be a short week on Wall Street. All U.S. markets will be closed on Friday in honor of Good Friday. Until then, though, there's plenty of economic data to keep Wall Street busy. Earnings season kicks into high gear. We'll get quarterly results from more big banks, including Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley. Also, we get reports from Apple, Johnson & Johnson, and McDonald's. Meantime, McDonald's is looking to hire 50,000 new workers this Thursday as the burger giant gears up for the summer rush and for many outlets to stay open 24 hours a day. More data on the struggling housing market out this week, but don't look for too many bright spots in new home construction or home prices for March. And don't look for a whole lot of work being done on next year's federal budget in Washington this week. Starting Monday, the House and Senate go into recess through the end of April. But do get ready for higher rates at the post office. New fares go into effect this week for packages and bulk mail, like store flyers and coupon packets, but not on first-class stamps. And it may be a little later than usual this year, but Monday is tax day, when your federal tax returns are due. If you need more time, better file for an extension right away. I'm Sue Herrera. Get all your business news on CNBC.
The House is in recess this week, as you heard, but politics didn't come to a halt in Florida this weekend. Tea partiers held a rally at Raymond James Stadium Friday. And yesterday, it was South Florida's turn. Donald Trump showed up for that event yesterday in Boca Raton. The billionaire declared the United States has become a laughingstock around the world.
We have a disaster on our hands. We have a man right now that almost certainly will go down as the worst president in the history of the United States.
Trump promises to make a decision about a possible presidential bid by June. Sarah Palin appeared at a rally in Madison, Wisconsin, much to the delight of Tea Partiers there. While in town, she expressed her support for Governor Scott Walker, who's been entangled in a budget battle with Democrats fighting over state employee bargaining rights. Anyone who's ever lost a wedding ring knows that moment of panic. But imagine losing your ring on the beach. And that's what happened to one News Channel 8 meteorologist. That story's coming up. Plus, can cats and dogs live in harmony? Well, so far it's working out with the cheetah cub and the puppy. Those stories and more coming up in our next half hour.
I'm Ron Carter. Here's some events coming up around the Bay Area. Watch PGA Legends of the Champions Tour tee it up alongside celebrity athletes, musicians, and comedians at the Outback Steakhouse Pro-Am. Call for tickets today. Sign up now for Lowry Park Zoo's annual Charity Golf Classic on Monday, May 9th at Old Memorial Golf Club. For details, call or visit LowryParkZoo.com.
Tampa Bay events are brought to you by Tampa General Hospital, Bayer, Orthodontic Specialists of Florida, and News Channel 8.
Now on News Channel 8.
People at a vigil blame a young boy's death on careless adults. Now the community seeks to learn a lesson from a 7-year-old who took his own life. And amateur video shows another day of attacks in Misrata as rebels try to stand their ground. Plus, this is one very special cheetah, and not just because he's so cute. We'll tell you about his unique friendship with a puppy.
Live from the News Center in high definition, this is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, I'm Yolanda Fernandez. Thanks for joining us. We'll get to all those stories in just a moment, but right now, Storm Team 8 meteorologist Megan Hatton's in our forecast center with an update on the weather. Megan, hi.
Good morning, Yolanda. Good morning, everyone at home, and happy Sunday to you. We're watching a little bit of drier air building into the area today thanks to high pressure. So we'll have another lovely day in the Tampa Bay area on tap. So whether you're heading to the beach or you're doing some yard work today, slightly lower dew points will be in place all across the area, with the exception of the extreme southern portion of the viewing area. Our warm and dry week is in store for us again, with high pressure hanging on and not any changes to our pattern overall. No significant rain chances are in the forecast for us, so if your lawn is looking a little bit dry, don't think it is, but we could see just a few sprinkles from time to time due to the sea breeze. There's a look outside right now, 71 degrees at the Lowe's Don Cesar. Things are heating up quickly. Southwest wind at 2 miles per hour, humidity 59%. Already 70 degrees Wauchula, Sarasota, Anna Maria Island. We're 71 Pinellas Park, 64 degrees in Brooksville. Our high today, a comfortable 84 degrees. Our typical high is 80, so that is still warm behind the cold front, and we're only going to see warmer temperatures this week, so hopefully you're up for that. Our 7-day forecast that includes lots of sunshine is coming up shortly.
All right, Megan, thanks. We'll check back in with you a little later then.
Okay.
Well, last night, community members gathered to remember the anniversary of a young life cut short. 7-year-old Gabriel Myers was a foster child who police say hanged himself 2 years ago while on 3 psychotropic drugs. As News Channel 8's Adrian Pedersen tells us, people in the Bay Area are fighting to change the foster system.
Lining the side of the Causeway Bridge in Clearwater, community activists gathered to remember 7-year-old Gabriel Myers. A young life, they say, was cut short by careless adults. Police say the young boy hanged himself 2 years ago while on 3 psychotropic drugs. Sophia Vera spent most her childhood in foster care and took similar drugs to Gabriel.
People thought I was abusing drugs, like street drugs, when I was on them, but no, it was the medicine.
She says local crisis centers literally forced her to take several antidepressants.
I never wanted to take it. I was forced to take it. When I would cheek them, they would liquefy it. When I would spit it out, they would shoot me up.
Lori Ansbach with the Citizens Commission on Human Rights of Florida says children in foster care are drugged far too often.
Every single day these children are on the psychiatric medications and cocktails of them, that means multiple medications. We're at risk of losing another child.
Ansbach says foster children on these medications need legal consent from a birth parent or court order, and says many kids get prescribed the drugs illegally. 26-year-old Vera is determined to keep her 2-year-old daughter off psychotropic drugs.
If any doctor ever suggests them, I'm just going to leave that doctor and never go back.
Activists say it's not necessarily the drugs that are the problem, but mixing them and prescribing them too often. In Clearwater, I'm Adrian Pedersen, News Channel 8.
Bay Area residents came together last night to show their support for victims of sexual violence. It was the annual Take Back the Night event in Tampa. Our own Keith Cate co-emceed the event in Hyde Park Village. The Sexual Violence Task Force and the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay presented the event, which also drew Tampa Police Chief Jane Castor. Event organizer Marilyn Bray says victims of sexual crimes often feel ashamed and find it difficult to share their stories.
Survivors are among us. We're your sisters, we're your wives, we're your co-workers. But it is difficult for survivors to break the silence and to raise their voices and talk about their experiences. So tonight we create a safe environment that allows that conversation and that healing to take place.
Bray says it's important for survivors to speak about their experiences because it helps the healing process. The operator of the leaking Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan hopes to bring the crisis under control within 6 to 9 months. The chairman of Tokyo Electric Power Company says they have a phased plan to end the crisis and allow people who evacuated to come home. In the first 3 months, they hope to steadily reduce the level of leaking radiation. The second phase of the plan involves covering damaged reactor buildings to contain the radiation. Amateur video posted online yesterday shows a building on fire in Misrata, Libya. Misrata is the only rebel stronghold in western Libya. The city's been pounded by Gaddafi loyalists since the start of the conflict. Rebels say yesterday Gaddafi's forces targeted plants that belonged to the food industry there. And Christians around the world are attending Palm Sunday services today. In the Philippines, churches were packed with people who brought palm fronds to worship. A priest walked up and down the aisle blessing the palm fronds. The ritual recalls the story of Jesus' entrance to Jerusalem before his crucifixion, and it takes place on the Sunday before Easter. It's a strange pair, but a cheetah and a puppy are the center of attention this weekend at Busch Gardens. The theme park's youngest cheetah is already a survivor, and now his caretakers are giving him an unlikely buddy to grow up with. News Channel 8's Josh Green shows us why.
I think the flamingo wants a chance at fame, too.
It seemed like the pink flamingos were green with envy.
They're making me want to choose.
All the attention was next door. Eyes were focused on the new odd couple at Busch Gardens.
You actually hear a lot that dogs and cats don't like each other. This is weird, but it's adorable.
It was the public's first time seeing them. The 16-week-old lab puppy, it's a girl, and the little boy cheetah half her age right now.
Look at her play.
They're spending more time together in sessions like this.
They're becoming fast friends, so they'll be companions for life, basically buddies for life.
The little spotted fellow was the only survivor in a litter of 4. A cub abandoned by its mother shortly after its birth at the Jacksonville Zoo. His caretakers thought it'd be best if he didn't grow up alone.
Male cheetahs out in the wild will spend many, many years together, what we call a coalition. So it's not unusual for them to bond with their brothers and spend some time with their brothers till they go out to their own territory.
The dog and big cat will be part of an education program to teach people about how cheetahs are losing numbers in the wild. And the hype around it all surrounds the opening of a new exhibit and new ride called Cheetah Run and Cheetah Hunt. The actual ride itself is set to open May 27th. That's Memorial Day weekend. But you should see cars on the track for testing starting this week. The coaster won't be the park's fastest, but at 4,400 feet, it will be the longest. But today, the attention was on something much shorter.
He's such an adorable little thing.
A big cat and his new BFF.
He's going to be a superstar.
At Busch Gardens, Josh Green, News Channel 8.
That's really cute. The cheetah and the puppy pair will have names by tomorrow afternoon. Busch Gardens is holding a campaign to name the duo on their Facebook page. You can find a link to it on tvo.com. Just type in the search word cheetah. And we're celebrating here at News Channel 8 this morning, having received some big honors from the Associated Press. The AP awarded News Channel 8 Best TV Newscast and Best Weather Reporting. Here you can see director Matt Messman holding one of the awards. He deserves congratulations, along with Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey, Ginger Thorpe, and the rest of the News Channel 8 team. Congratulations.
Yay.
And we have to say, Matt is Megan's husband, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he was very proud of the award.
Yeah, of course, we're early to bed, and I just keep getting picture messages of his award. He's really excited, and we're, of course, really excited, too, and happy that everyone's work is recognized, and we try to do our best here. And today, I think I should win an award for Best Forecast, because it's going to be awesome outside, whether you're heading to the beach, doing a little yard work, or you're taking Yo and I out on the boat today and giving us some free grills and steaks. I mean, that's all right.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
1 o'clock, we're yours. We're looking at a forecast that stays warm for most of the work week ahead. We'll have those details coming up.
Gail Guayardo, weekday mornings on News Channel 8 Today.
Last day for the Outback Pro-Am today, and I know a lot of them already teeing off hours before a lot of us got out of bed this morning, but it will be breezy and sunny if you're heading there this afternoon. Temperatures around 85 degrees, a little bit more of a comfortable atmosphere. Lots of sunshine at noon today, 80 degrees at 6 p.m., 82, breezy at times. We're 68 degrees right now in Brandon, 68 in Tampa, 70 degrees Pinellas Park, and Cloak Keys checking in at 67 degrees, 70 in Sebring, frostproof. Brooksville is checking in at 65 degrees, and Sarasota is 70. Our dew point numbers a little bit lower. We're talking about 40s and 50s compared to the upper 60s, even some mid 70s yesterday. These numbers, as you will see, a little bit more comfortable if you haven't stepped outside, but the more significant dry air, that bluish gray color to the top of your screen, will stay to our north. Our wind speeds right now 10 to 15 miles per hour, especially right along the coast. So if you are planning on taking the boat out today, could be a little choppy at times. Thankfully, though, things are quieting down across the southeast. That strong storm system finally moving out, but not before it caused a couple of tornadoes across the south, and even in North Carolina. We have video to show you. Amazing damage, amazing pictures here in this video from Dunn County, North Carolina. The storm blew down trees, ripped off the roof of a home. One woman who lived in this neighborhood died. More than 50 homes were blown apart. In the neighborhood alone, over 100 tornadoes were reported from Oklahoma all the way to the East Coast, and North Carolina, unfortunately, saw a majority of those systems. Saw those YouTube videos, unbelievable. This is all that's left of the system, just some snow across parts of the Northeast, some snow across the upper Midwest, and for us, it's all about high pressure, a very nice forecast, and it will stay dry for the remainder of the weekend. Our highs today, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. That will be inland locations south of the Bay, where the humidity is a little bit higher. 85 degrees Inverness, 82 Crystal River. Look at that forecast too. Beautiful blue skies. Not a lot in the way of clouds, but a few high clouds will move in tonight. 64 degrees Ruskin, 68 in St. Pete. There's a look at your boating forecast. 10 to 15 knot winds. Your tide schedule at St. Petersburg Pier. And of course, the most important thing, your 7-day forecast. High today of 84 degrees. Lots of sunshine will kick off the work week ahead on Monday. High of 86, and the humidity will kick back in full force definitely by Tuesday as we start our day out near 70 degrees, and it's going to stay that way all the way through the first part of next weekend.
Ooh, nice and hot this week. All righty. Well, chances are you or someone you know has lost something at the beach. And that can hurt when it's a piece of jewelry with sentimental value.
Last weekend, my good buddy, meteorologist Brooks Garner, found that out the hard way when he lost his wedding band at Clearwater Beach. But that loss was just the beginning of a miraculous story involving a model citizen.
Look at this vastness. To lose a wedding band out here goes way beyond the old needle in a haystack adage. When I lost mine last Sunday, I searched to no avail.
So, believing this ring was just history, I decided, hey, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to try Craigslist. So I posted an ad.
It was a 1 in a billion chance, but I believe in miracles.
So, much to my shock and surprise, within a day, somebody got back to me.
Spencer Ray, a metal detection enthusiast, asked me exactly where I'd lost it, promising to go on a search. A week later, he emailed me a picture of my ring. He'd found it.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Wow, can't believe it.
Yes, sir.
It's amazing. It's all come together.
Long lost story of lost treasure.
And so we met today, 7 days after I'd lost it.
Does that look familiar?
That does. That's the ring. Oh my goodness. It's just, wow.
Bet you
wow.
to the teeth.
There it is.
Thanks to the science of magnetism and conductivity, 10 hours of searching yielded the prize.
It sends out pulses of current down through the coil, kind of like the same concept as radar or sonar. Sends out a signal, hits the item, returns the signal back to the coil.
And as miraculous as my story seemed to me, he'd been a hero before.
I return a dozen a year. It gives you that warm, gushy feeling inside, and knowing that you did the right thing and were able to help somebody be reunited with something that was special to them. It's a good feeling.
So why not just sell his findings immediately?
What goes around comes around, it's all about karma. And, had I found that ring, knowing that you had lost it and had not returned it, that would have come back and haunted me forever.
And that was Brooks reporting. And what a great story that he found it.
Yeah, we hear a lot of bad stuff, unfortunately, on the news, and to hear, of a great citizen helping us out, it's an amazing story.
Not only he found it, but he actually went out to look for it. That's great.
I know, amazing.
Well, Ray says he's found 76 rings so far this year, and it's only mid-April. If you've recently lost something in the sand, he said he may be able to help. To find a link to his website, just go to tvo.com and search for the word links. Well, not too many travelers are pleased with airlines that charge you a fee to check in a bag.
Well, I think actually it's crazy to actually have to pay for your luggage.
But imagine not even getting a refund on that fee if your bag fails to show. How a new government rule could regulate luggage fees, coming up next.
Why your house could be worth more than you think. Monday at 11.
We've all been there, standing at the carousel, waiting for our luggage to magically appear. And of course, these days, you often have to pay an extra $20 or $30 for that privilege. But what if your bags don't show? Well, at the very least, the airline should refund your checked bag fees, right? Well, Scott Gordon explains a government plan that would help you get that money back.
It's a ritual for many travelers, waiting at baggage claim, looking for luggage. But more than 2 million times last year, passengers arrived and their suitcases didn't. We spotted these 9 bags unclaimed on a flight from Salt Lake City.
I travel every week, so it's just pretty much you live with it. But if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not.
But when it's not, what about those baggage fees many airlines are charging these days? A new government rule would require airlines to refund the fees when bags don't arrive in a timely manner. But the airline industry is fighting the idea, arguing it would increase costs and ultimately lead to higher prices for everyone.
Well, I think actually it's crazy to actually have to pay for your luggage. And then the insult on top of it is if it gets lost. And not to even have that as a bare minimum, yes, I think that's an insult to all the travelers.
Delta offers a $25 credit for each bag that doesn't arrive within 12 hours. Alaska Airlines offers a $20 credit or 2,000 frequent flyer miles if luggage isn't there 20 minutes after a passenger arrives. But most airlines, including American, offer no refunds. They simply keep the money.
Makes me furious. Very furious.
Anger over fees that aren't popular to begin with.
I don't think they should charge it in the first place. But yes, they should refund it.
Normally, we're not happy when the government steps in on something, but in this case, yeah, I would be happy if the government stepped in.
There's no timetable for when the new refund rule will go into effect. The Transportation Department plans to release more details later this month. And Storm Team 8 meteorologist Megan Hatton's up next with a final check on your forecast. Finally today, if you think your office chair was only designed as a place for you to sit while you work, guess again. A town in southeast Germany held its annual office chair race yesterday, where participants get a chance to show off the sporty side of their office equipment. 62 competitors navigated ramps and jumps as they raced downhill. One of the more colorful characters dressed up like a cowboy and decorated his chair like a horse. There he is. Wow, he's got quite the interesting chair. The gizmo. They're getting into this, aren't they?
Yeah, something tells me that there would be more significant injuries if we tried to do that here.
I don't know that my chair would roll that far.
I don't think so either. Maybe we could juice one up and, you know, have our own little Olympics. 84 degrees are forecasted high today, a little bit on the drier side, humidity-wise, but we will see an east to southeasterly flow returning on Monday. That's going to bring in the moisture on the low levels, meaning humidity is going to return as early as Monday afternoon. We're going to start the rest of our mornings off upper 60s to near 70 degrees. So again, it's going to feel more like summer than it is the middle of April.
Well, this is technically the last week of spring break we're going into, and it looks good. Folks are headed to the beach, that's for sure. Thanks again for joining us this morning. We don't have a new newscast because of NBC's poker coverage. Have a good Sunday.